The origin of Jesus feels like an alien getting Mary pregnant with like an abduction, but it doesn't feel like an actual body abduction. It feels like pulling the soul up into a ship and then like implanting like into an embryo. And it feels like it's a human alien hybrid. And I think that's what Jesus is. He's an alien human hybrid. And I feel like he's a prophet that channels information. I think the reason they went with religion and all of that was because that's what they understood back then. So it was the Virgin Mary, which could be true, but it's more about manipulating DNA. It's like ETs are just further advanced. It's things that we don't understand. It's kind of like I'm being drawn to like IVF. So it's something like that, but mixing DNA to make a baby to bring us back to like unity and oneness. It feels like maybe because I'm seeing like the Hierophant in my mind's eye, which is giving me like structure, and it's reminding me of like the world we're in today. And it feels like Jesus was like a star seed that was supposed to come here to bring us back. And I'm hearing like demigod, so it's like maybe he was part God, part human, because it's reminding me of those Marvel movies with that guy who's really nice and he watches over Earth and he's part God, part human. I think his dad's name is Ego or whatever. And the guy whose brother's like bad, it's like good and evil type thing. Like I feel like Jesus was a prophet that was like pre-made, basically. Were we on a journey that was kind of headed towards slavery or controlling other humans? Because it feels like Jesus was kind of planted into whatever area he was in to bring people together. And forgive me if everybody knows this because of the Bible. I don't. I don't feel like Jesus died and came back to life. I'm being shown the YouTube videos where it's like near-death experience and a bunch of people get interviewed. So it kind of feels like he was probably more so in a coma. You know what it's reminding me of is like when someone's dealing with hypothermia, so their heart rate slows down and their body's in like a preservation mode. That's what it's reminding me of. Like, I'm preserving my body. So heart rate was probably like really slow and breath was probably really slow. So people probably thought he was dead, but in reality it was like he just probably needed CPR or something. It's something about like I'm being drawn to TV shows where they think they're dead, but in reality it's just like I'm hearing pulse ox, like the oxygen levels really slow and just the breathing is super slow to the point you think they're dead, but they're not. So I don't think Jesus died and came back to life. I also feel like that was meant to happen, to have a near-death experience. So I don't know if he went on to preach after, because again, I should probably look this up. But it feels like I'm having this near-death experience so that I can get back in touch with Source, so that I can remember what it is that I need to teach people, because it feels like I'm giving up on people. It feels like people are turning against me. So was this like, did people turn against him? And then, yeah, that makes sense. Turn against him, go after him, and then he comes back to life. It was like to help bring people back together. He has a near-death experience. It's like, you know, how someone gets a TED Talk because they had a near-death experience. It's like that. It's like giving it to... You probably had more prophets around the world that were going through something probably similar and having near-death experiences and stuff like that. It just wasn't as easily recorded because you don't have something like the internet today. So I think that's why people that channel Jesus and stuff like that, he's very humble, because I'm seeing like Princess Diana in my mind. It's like, I wasn't a god. You aren't supposed to worship me. I was bringing you back to the point of living, which is love, and realizing that we are all one, and realizing unity consciousness, and that when we all win, that's winning. And when one of us loses, we all lose, and we need to be It's just very much oneness. Like we're brothers and sisters. We need to lift each other up, not tear each other apart and come back home to ourselves. I think that was the whole point of Jesus, was to re-inspire people in a time where they were more greed and fear-based and control, and Jesus was more unity and community and love for one another and sharing and stuff like that.